Shalom, friends. This page of Talmud is about statues and symbology. Please nobody alert Dan Brown so he can't ruin it. Also, I will be explaining this whole thing in Lord of the Rings references. You've been warned, okay? Welcome to Daf Reactions of Avodah Zarah 41. Go get your pipe weed and settle in. According to Rabbi Meir, statues are off limits to Jewish people because they get worshipped at least once per year. Is this the Avodah Zarah equivalent to only going to shul in Rosh Hashanah? But the other rabbis say, hang on, hashtag not all statues. Just ones holding a staff, an orb, or a bird. A staff represents dominion of the idol over the whole world. Don't be fooled and decide not to part an old man from his walking stick at the entrance to Theoden's hall. A bird held by a statue symbolizes grasping the entire world in its talons like Gwai here the Windlord. An orb represents the entire world, like the eyeball of Sauron, staring into that Palantir. But if the statue is holding something else, let's say the horn of Boromir, well, that could just be purely decorative, not idolatrous, and also sad. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says no, as long as that statue is holding a thing, then that statue is for idol worship. It could have been holding a basket of mushrooms from Farmer Maggot's crops. It does not matter. The Gemara is like, okay, let's figure out why the sages disagree with Rabbi Meir. Well, he's extrapolating his location, Numenor, to everywhere else. But the sages know that the Shire doesn't act like that. That's not normative in the Shire. Not that they really had statues. It's silly to put all the statues in the same category. Rabbi Huda says that Shmuel says the disagreement between Rabbi Meir and the rest of the sages at the Council of Elrond really had to do with statues of kings. For example, the Argonath standing on either side of the Anduin River. Rabbi Meir said, yeah, they could be for idol worship, hello? But the rabbi said maybe they just beautifully decorate the entrance to the realm of Gondor. Rabbi Bar Chana said that Rabbi Yochanan said, but we do learn the dispute is about statues that stand at the entrance to regions, an important location where they may, in fact, be worshipped. Well, shit, there go the Argonath. Rabbah says the dispute between Rabbi Meir and the sages is only really in regard to statues in villages. Villages like Bree. Did they worship the prancing pony? But in cities like Minas Tirith, that's fine. Statues in these contexts are just ornamental, not for idol worship. The sages taught in a Tosefta there are actually a few other symbols that could represent power and dominion. Let's talk about those. If a statue has a sword in its hand, shards of Narsil. A crowned statue, we wouldn't want to evoke the Iron Crown of Morgoth. And the other symbol an idolatrous statue might have, I kid you not, it's a ring. One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in Avodah Zarah bind them. I hereby rest my case that the Venn diagram of Tolkien and Talmud, it's just a circle. In response to Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel's assertion that you can't derive benefit from a statue holding literally anything in its hands, including Sam's beloved frying pans, Rav Ashi's response to this is quite comedic. I enjoy his comedic stylings very much. He asks, okay, you think you know all the symbolic possible meanings of every single thing that a statue could be holding and how they could be idol worship? Here's a riddle in the dark. What if the statue is holding a shit? Does that represent idolatry because this god sees the world as shit? Is this a Baal Peor kink? Or is this a scatological commentary that's actually mocking idolatry? And the Gemara concludes, well, this is going to have to remain unresolved, as honestly we don't have any Lord of the Rings references for an idol holding shit. We'd have to go to Rav George R.R. Martin for that.